Hey, what's happening? My name is Leonard Wote, and today I will be bringing to you guys some exciting news about the last property we closed. This property has been performing extremely above our expectation and above our projection. We're excited and pumped about this deal. Boy, after we closed this deal, we implemented our business plans immediately, and this deal has been doing extremely well as cash flow is concerned and rent bump is concerned. We have been increasing rents from $150 to $200, but our initial projection was that we are going to do rent bumps for just $50. We have been doing distributions to our investors, tax benefit with K1s, appreciation. Like, I am so excited and pumped, and that is why I keep saying that investing in real estate is one of the best things that you want to do. You want to have your money work for you, so make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe to this channel for more real estate video, baby. Let's go. Boom. I am going to be talking about the deal performance, the cash flow, the appreciation, tax benefit. We closed on this deal 7 months ago. We implemented our business plans immediately, and this deal has been performing exceedingly and above our projections that we had initially. So we had projected that we are going to be doing rent increases by $50 when the lease comes to an end, but we have been getting $150 to $200 rent bumps. When we bought the property, our average rents were like $1,200, and the market rent was like $600 to $700. So anytime the lease comes to an end, we were projecting that we're just going to be doing like $50 rent increase incrementally as the lease comes to an end. But that is not true. We have been exceeding what we projected. We underpromised to our investors, and we are over delivering. So this brings me to the 3 benefits that our investors have been getting as far as this deal is concerned: cash flow, baby, tax benefit, and appreciation. I love cash flow. Cash flow is the holy grail of any business. If you have a business and that business does not cash flow, then that is not a business. So when we underwrote this deal initially, we had projected that we are gonna cash flow day one. So what is cash flow day one? Cash flow day one means that you buy the property the day you're closing on the property. For example, we close on the property August 8th, and we are going to be collecting rent the next month, which is September. And we want to make sure that the income minus the expenses, we should be able to get cash flow that we can distribute to our investors. And that is what happened with this deal. Also, the physical and the economic occupancy has been more than 95%. What's the difference between physical and the economic occupancy? So for example, you can have 100 units and you have 100 tenants. If you have 100 tenants inside that 100 unit, that is 100% physically occupied. But if only 80 tenants paid their rent and 20 were not able to pay it because of 1 or 2 circumstances, so therefore you are getting only 80% of the rent. You are actually losing 20% of the rent. So but for this property, we are doing more than 90%. So the property has been performing great, and we are so excited and pumped about this property. And our investors love this property because we have been doing distributions. As I said earlier, we are distributing more than what we had projected to our investors. This takes me to the next part, which is the tax benefit. So when you buy multi-family apartment complexes, you have this benefit, this tax benefit, which is called bonus depreciation, and you can write off taxes. So we actually did something which is called cost segregation, where you send a professional over the property, they do a cost segregation on the property, and they say, hey, you can write this amount of taxes. So we took that and we passed it over to our investors. We did a K1 and distribute K1 to our investors, and our investors were able to write off taxes. Let me just say, for example, you invested $100,000 and you are getting cash flow on that $100,000, and you are doing your W-2 job. And now you have a K1 for around $24,000 to write off $24,000 taxes. So if you file taxes and you owe like maybe $24,000 with Uncle Sam, guess what? You can just take this K1 and you write off that $24,000 that you would have paid to Uncle Sam. So you invested $100,000 and you do your W-2. Instead of paying, you write off taxes, and meanwhile you're still making cash flow on that deal. How about that? And it doesn't end there. Remember, when you invest that $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 in that deal, it appreciates as well. So when the rent increases as the lease comes to an end, the property value increases. Most of you have lived in an apartment. When your lease comes to an end, they increase your rent. It doesn't end there. You also get appreciation. So for example, you invest $100,000, you're getting cash flow, you're writing off taxes, your $100,000 is appreciating. What is appreciation? So you put $100,000 there in a deal, and after like maybe 5 years, that $100,000 appreciate to like maybe $170,000. This exclude the tax benefit that you've been getting, and it exclude the cash flow that you've been getting as well. So that is appreciation, that your money has appreciated. So remember, when the property increases in value because you invested in that property, your money appreciates as well. Because for example, when we bought the property, the rents were $1,200. So now we are taking the rents to market rent, because the market rents are like $1,600 to $1,700. When it hits $1,700, $1,800, guess what? It's not still gonna worth the same money that we purchased the property. Let's say we bought the property for $10 million, where the rents were $1,200, and after 5 years, and after 5 or 6 years, the rents are like maybe $1,600 or $1,700, or maybe even $1,500. Guess what? That property is not still gonna worth $10 million. It's gonna worth like maybe $15, $16 million. So you have a appreciation or equity for like $5 million. Now your $100,000 that you invested, or your $200,000 that you invested, is not still $100,000. It's not $170,000. Your money appreciates. You're making money as cash flow, and you're writing off taxes. So that's why I keep pounding on the fact that invest in something where your money is gonna be working for you. Your multi-family apartment complexes are one of the best vehicles where if you put your money there, you're going to be receiving passive income, you're going to be receiving appreciation, you're going to be receiving tax benefit. But in order to do that, you have to look for the right operators. You have to look for the right deal in the right location. If you invest in a bad deal in the wrong location, you're going to lose money. If you invest in the right deal in the correct location, you're going to make a lot of money. What is the right deal and what is the correct location? What we are doing is that we are looking apartment complexes in areas where people are moving into. People are moving into Texas, not in South Carolina. Those areas are one of the areas that people are moving a lot into it. People are moving away from California. People are moving away from New York. So you want to invest where people are moving into the area. So that when people comes into that area, they'll be able to rent your apartment. Also, you want to invest where, or you want to buy properties where businesses are moving into that area, because businesses attract people. When you hear Amazon is trying to create a distribution center, you see people moving into that area because they want to get job. When you hear Microsoft or Boeing or those big companies, they are trying to create their headquarters in a specific state or a location, people tend to move in that area because they want to get that job. And when you invest in those areas, then there's nothing that's going to stop your property from performing well. We are currently working on some bigger projects, and I'll keep you guys posted. Make sure you invest your money. Don't keep your money in the bank and be looking at it, and the bank is going to take that money and lend it to people like us, or lend it to other people and use your money to make a triple or quadruple interest or something like that. Remove that money and invest it, and let that money work for you. Make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe to this channel for more real estate videos. Let's go, baby. Boom.